Hi everybody, this is Danielle and we are talking about mastering your business, and I have Amberlyn with me today. Amberlyn is a professional model and we go way back.
We go way back.
We go way,
way
back. Amberlyn, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Absolutely. So I'm Amberlyn, and I started my modeling journey about 7 years ago, and Danielle was actually one of the first photographers I ever worked with. And we just kept in touch with throughout the years, and it's been a pleasure, and I'm so happy to be here.
Yay. I've watched your modeling career just bloom and blossom, and you do all these other things. We're both entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur as well, right? So we have entrepreneurship to kind of talk about as well. But I think one of the things that really impresses me, because when we first met, it was like one of the first times that you've ever done anything. You were very young and pretty, and we had some fun. But you've really upped your game, and you get more and more professional as you move on. And can you kind of talk about what it's like being a model? Because I think a lot of people have questions about that. Like they have this idealized version of what it is.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. I think the first thing I would say is it's not what people think it is. So many young girls approach me, or even moms approach me, say, and there's just this ideal, like glam, it's all about me, fashion lights, Instagram followers, all those different things. But really, just like any profession, whether it's acting, modeling, singing, construction, being a plumber, you have to be professional. And I think that's the side that a lot of people don't understand.
Yeah, can you tell us what that means when we can talk about being professional? Like what are some of the things that you do to be professional in this business?
Absolutely. I mean, being on time is one, and also just knowing how to respect yourself and respecting the people that you're working with, and understanding that there is an entire team. When you see, a cover of Vogue or whatever that is, there's a whole team of people behind that. So really making sure that you are on time, you're doing your part, you fulfill whatever expectation is on that end is really important. Communication, all those different things.
What are some of the things that you struggle with when it comes to being a model? We always have to assume that models never eat, and they have to be super skinny, and you're all beautiful, and all this other kind of stuff, and the world is just handed to you. What's kind of the outward kind of things that you have to deal with?
Absolutely. I think a lot of it actually comes from a lot of family and friends. Personally, I haven't had a lot of people tell me, eat a cheeseburger or anything crazy like that. But I think part of it is realizing that if there is, say, if you do have a fitting with a designer or something like that, it is your responsibility to uphold those measurements, and that's just the business aspect of it. But at the same time, just be responsible for yourself, and don't let that get to you too much, and don't put all your eggs in that basket, in the weight basket or in the height basket or anything like that.
So when you talk about those baskets, because we've talked about this before about how the exterior, everybody judges you and you have to be perfect and all this other kind of stuff, right? Do you find with that judgment and stuff that comes to you for like, Amberlyn, looking so beautiful, and you have all these photos on magazines and all this other kind of stuff, and there's an outward expectation of perfectionism. How do you deal with that? The perfectionism?
I would honestly say evening out that standard with your character. Okay. Because if you have all those expectations on you just outwardly, people don't want to work with someone who's just pretty. There are billions of girls out there who are beautiful, have all those outward requirements, but they don't know how to show up and be on time. They don't know, again, going back to that respect and that professionalism. Not everyone has that, and that's what really sets you apart. Yeah,
and some of the things that I know that you do is that you always, this is my notice of you, because I've worked with you, is that you always meet everybody on the shoot. Like you always introduce yourself and talk to everybody, not just the director or not just the camera person or something like that. You always go out and you say hi to everybody, introduce yourself, and you always ask about the product that you're photographing. If you're doing jewelry or anything like that, you always ask about the product or research the product beforehand. You engage everybody in the environment as well. Is that part of that professionalism, or is that just you?
I mean, hopefully it's not just me. I think that's something that, again, there's that light within you that you have to warm other people with. And something is, again, like, there are so many beautiful girls out there, and there's so many nice, beautiful girls out there, but what impression are you going to make? Are you going to make the impression that you care, and that you're invested and that you care about that person's dream? Because if you you can't just show up, shine, and show out, and that's fine. That's what many people do. They get their check and they leave. But you know, do you want to build working relationships?
Mm-hmm.
And again, just like in any other career, do you want to be the person that clocks in and clocks out? Or do you want to say, hey, how can I make your dream happen?
Yeah.
How can I make this company really flourish?
Yeah. So when we talk about making companies first, it's almost like when we talk about business, like making the client the star of the show, right?
Yes.
It's not actually about us. It's about making the client the star. There's that book, Building Your Story Brand. That's one of my favorite books, right? And they talk a lot about that you're the Yoda of the business. Like you're guiding your client through what you need to do. And you're almost like in that kind of way, you're just helping that brand kind of fulfill whatever their dream is for that brand, right? You're enhancing that brand.
Oh, absolutely.
Is that true?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's very humbling and very honoring at the same time, because whether it's photographers or designers in hair and makeup, they invest hundreds of hours and so much money into their craft and time and all those different things. And to be the person that gets to bring that to life and to showcase to the world, that's so humbling and so honoring at the same time.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. So if you were going to give a tip, so let's talk about this. One, let's talk about a little bit about confidence when it comes to doing whatever it is that you're going to do. Because I think you have to have a lot of confidence. Because you said there's a lot of pretty girls, a lot of nice girls and stuff like that. So there has to be some inner confidence going on. Is
Absolutely.
that right? So how do you have that inner confidence?
Gosh, knowing who you are and knowing what you have to bring to the table, being sharp. You know, just being sharp, knowing your stuff.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Cancun trip. That's what I was thinking about, was your Cancun trip, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So long story short, I saw a casting on Facebook of all places from one of the biggest hair companies in the world, and they said that they needed models for something in Bellevue, and they said, you know, contact this person if you're professional, or this person if you're an amateur. And I hadn't done a shoot in a while. I was a little bit out of shape because I was focusing on my other career, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna say I'm a professional model, call that person, because I thought of all the things that I had to bring to the table that way. You know what, I am professional because I do tie the knot in. I do know lighting. I do know how to put myself in the right place. And because of that, contacting that person, I actually ended up being able to go to Cancun for 10 days just to get my hair cut and then some, because people liked working with me, and I was able, as you were saying, to kind of see the vision in me and make that happen. Because you were thinking about like, oh, I'm not a professional, I'm not there yet, or something like that. But you just said, screw it, I'm going to be a professional. I am a professional. And then out of a Facebook thing, you go to Cancun, scrolling through on Facebook.
Just scrolling through Facebook, you're like, I'm going to be a professional model, and you just like, well, you are one, but you're like, you had that thing in the back of your head, like, am I good enough or something like that? And I think we do that in business all the time. The product isn't right, the thing's not perfect, whatever it is, but sometimes you just have to take that leap of faith and say, you know what, I am good enough. My product is good enough. We're just going to move forward and take advantage and go. And then you got a haircut in 10 days in Cancun.
And paid on top of that.
And
so
paid
that was
on
part
top
of the
of
negotiation. But something about that is that that's a good way to challenge yourself. So if you feel like you're not quite there yet, maybe other people aren't challenging you because you work for yourself, because we're business owners, we're entrepreneurs. But stepping out a little bit above there and saying, maybe I'm not there yet, but darn it, I'm going to do what it takes to get there. I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to fill those shoes. And taking responsibility for that I think is a big deal that people need to practice more.
You just need to do it.
Absolutely.
You just gotta do it.
Don't doubt yourself and do it and be honest with the people around you. I'm not saying, you know, fake it till you make it or something, but I think people really appreciate authenticity these days, especially.
I do. Thank you so much, Amberlyn. I appreciate it. I want to give big hugs, but we're not going to do it. Okay, thank you so much for joining us on Mastering Your Business, and we will put all of your contact information up there, your Instagram and your modeling page and all that other kind of stuff, so people can contact you and browse on the amazing photos. Oh my gosh, some of them are I love the donut one, that donut one that came out. I love that one. Okay, thank you. Thanks.